Hey everybody, it's Brooke. I hope you're having a great day. I thought I would play in our Corey Dahman inspired idea book. If that sounds interesting, come on back. Alright you guys, so we are heading right along in the idea book. The first one I'm going to work on is Corey's idea number 15, which is this really cool sort of stacking pocket dealio where all the pockets are different depths. So that's super nice. You could even make, if you just glued it on 3 sides, you could make the back a big deep pocket. But that way you don't have a bunch of bulk building up in one place because all the pockets go to the bottom. And the other tip that she had was use thin paper. This is some old Greek dictionary. Dictionary paper seems to be the thinnest that works really well. So that's what I grabbed. And there are pockets, so let's go. Let's get into it. I did do a little bit of pre-prep because, well, this is fairly straightforward. I took 5 of the pieces of very beautiful old German dictionary paper that I got from Johnny at the Junk Journal shop, and I'll be sure to link her down below. You guys all know her. And all I did was put washi tape across the top of 5 pages. And I figured that was pretty self-explanatory. You put it halfway across or, halfway up and then fold it to the back and there you go. I didn't even cut off the little tail pieces because I thought, well, we'll be trimming this down to size and we'll get the washi then. The other thing I did was pull off some packing tape because I don't know about you guys, Dollar Tree packing tape, not a good value. Mine splits and just keeps going right back to the roll and sticking, and it's super loud. So I just pulled off some pieces of that and stuck it to the side of my desk so we didn't have to play the watch Brooke pull packing tape off a roll. That didn't sound like that much fun. So all I'm going to do is, if I have a certain depth of pocket in mind, it's fine, you can measure. I'm just going to do some eyeballing. So I'm going to fold this up, grab my handy dandy ruler. She says, oh, here's my handy dandy ruler. Tear off some of this excess, and I will keep this scrap because this book paper is beautiful, and we can do something with it. And I'm going to fold that back up. And then maybe I want this one. I went terribly wrong in putting the washi tape on, so I'll make sure that that's going to be cut off when we trim it. So we will just lay that right on top of the one we just folded. A little bit of glue stick. And because we're going to use the packing tape, which I also think is a genius idea, you don't have to worry about getting it perfectly glued. And I'm going to lay this page right on top of the one we just put down. And Corey's tip was to make sure if you're using dictionary to line up your center line or have it really offset. If it's just a little bit off, it looks a little bit off. And I thought that was a good tip. So then what you'll do is turn this over and take your packing tape and tape right across that seam where we glued it on sort of loosely. And that way, if things are going in and out of the pocket, they won't loosen up that glue and get caught. So that's great. Now maybe we want the next pocket to be a little more shallow. Keep putting my ruler on the wrong side. Actually, I'm going to move this wax paper. That glare is annoying me. Then I'll get glue on my mat. Then I'll complain and whine. So if you would feel better measuring this, absolutely measure your heart out. I'm just winging it. I don't have anything in particular in mind to put in here, so. And then fold this up. Maybe we want it to be a little more shallow. Fold it up like that. Got our next one ready to go. So again, oh, there's a glare on the ruler now. Can't get away from it. So again, tack it down with some glue. I believe I have thoroughly glued myself now. I may be stuck to this forever. Oop. And then take the next pocket and pop it on there. Try to get it straight. That'd probably be best. Oops, too high. It was too high because I was sticking, this pocket was sticking out above the top. And I kind of like how, I kind of really like how it looks with the washi being different distances apart. I think it's really interesting looking. So now you do the same thing and grab your packing tape, which is not straight for me because I was fighting it off the roll. Glue that down. Turn the whole thing back over, figure out which way is which. Ooh, itchy nose, good grief. There we go. So that is looking pretty good, and I do have my lines a little bit off, but there you go. It's because I did a shoddy job of folding it. Grab the bone folder and get that to be where it's supposed to be. There we go. All better. I'll be a lot happier when we get off that janky tape. So then again, maybe this one wants to be deeper. And I did think before I started, and then I forgot to do it, you could cut this in half, all these pages in half before you start, if you want to make 2 separate pockets or have more pockets, and utilize your paper to the best of your ability. The other thing is, if you were more careful with the edges, you could just trim this edge, cut out one section of pockets, and then trim this edge up so you'd have 2 sets of pockets. That didn't sound like it made any sense whatsoever. Hopefully it did a little bit. So then we'll fold this one up and get our glue down there. Actually, you know what? I want to bring this down so that the next row of washi tape is a little bit further away. Yes, I'm certain I just glued that to my desk. Bad news. Lay this down. Get that lined up and squish it down. Okay, turn it this way. Oh goody, I do have another piece of tape. Put your tape right across that seam. Fold that back up. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. Now we've got 4 pockets in here. Okay, so let me grab something. Where's my little card? I had my little sample card. Here we go. So now we have a deep pocket here, a more shallow pocket there, a medium pocket there, and again, this you could sew or glue just on 3 sides onto your page and you'd have a super deep pocket there for something super fun and exciting. Or not. Totally up to you. And so now this, excuse me, this last one, we'll go ahead and tear off the bottom. Wow, even with a ruler, this paper has a mind of its own. Okay, there we go. And maybe we'll do one more kind of deep one. And throw our glue on. I'll try not to glue myself this time. Get that lined up as best we can. Oops, sorry about that. I don't have any more tape pulled out. Oh, I do. I have one more piece. Huzzah. This part is showing, so I'm just going to rip that off. Grab our tape. Oh, try to use the straight edge, Brooke. That'll be good. Yeah, I'm telling you, I think I'm going to have to spring for some not Dollar Tree Scotch packing tape. Thought I had tons, but apparently not. Alrighty, and so there's that one. And then when you go to put it in your book, you can just fold that there, wherever you want it to be. You know, tear off the excess. Or if you don't mind it being upside down, you can make one last pocket. Tear that. And you can fold the pocket up this way. You know, put your washi tape on. And then you'd have one last pocket at the bottom. So that would give you an extra. And then, or you can just fold it up this way so it's not flapping around. And then we will trim it. With all this washi, I hope my cutter will go through it. Whoops. I think I will trim right to the words. So I'm lining up the edge of the lettering. On this side, I think I would like this pocket to be, how wide is it now? So maybe we'll make the pocket 4 inches. The paper is so old and soft when you're putting it up to the top of your cutter. Make sure you're not bending it inadvertently, because then you get, obviously, a crooked line or a crooked cut. And so this would make a cute little skinny guy. Just trim off those edges. And that would be great in a smaller journal or a bigger journal if you just had little tags to put in. I like it. Yep, that's a little bit crooked, but that's okay. So there you go. I would just go and sew all the way around these 3 sides. I did that to this one. It doesn't have as many pockets, but there you go. It's all done. It's finished. It can go in your book. It can get clipped in. Again, you could glue it on the 3 sides and have a great big pocket in the back. Pretty much anything you wanted to do with it. Very handy, and it does help in reducing the bulk, which for me is always a good thing because I put a lot of stuff in my journal. So that was idea number 15, and if you hold on, we'll do idea number 17 coming up. 16 is kind of a long one, so I think I'm going to do that in a separate video. But I'll be right back to do number 17. Okay guys, we're back with idea number 17, and I really like this one. Total genius. Something we all do, but I never thought of this. It's an over-the-page tuck. So you slide it right over a page. You could also make it to go on the page that way. Whatever works for you. But it slides on there and you can just clip it. You've got a pad of paper here, little scrap bits, and then on the other side you have this fun pocket that will hold exciting goodies. Yes, exciting. So I think that's fun. The thing that was different about this that I really liked, and this is just a paper clip that I tied a scrap of fabric to. What I really liked about this, and the part I never thought about, was sewing the paper away from this fold. So this folds like that, and the pad of paper is sewn down some, and it's sewn to this side, the short side. That way it doesn't stick up over the top of your page. It slides all the way down and stays flat up there. And I love that. So let's do it. This one's an easy one. All you're going to need is a scrap of paper. I've got a 4-inch wide by 12-inch high piece of cardstock. And then I grabbed a bunch of scraps out of my scrap bin. All different kinds of stuff. That's coffee dyed baker's paper, some recipe pages, coffee dyed paper, more recipe, some of the brown painter's tape, more coffee dyed, piece of ledger, all kinds of stuff to make it interesting. I'm going to line those up on the bottom. Well, actually, technically it's the top. And then I'm going to use, the hardest part of all, untangling paper clips. Where did all my paper clips go? There are not that many left, and they're all tangled up. So I'm going to just hold that in place. The first one I didn't use the paper clips, and I was not able to hold it as straight as a person would have liked. So my notepad went in kind of wacky. Then we'll take this, and I wanted this yellow to be showing on the side where the pad's going to go. So it doesn't matter. This is totally up to you. That's not going to show that much, is it? Oh well. Fold that. You can use your scoreboard. You can do whatever you want. You could make that a decorative edge. All kinds of things that you could do. So now what's going to happen is this guy is going to go right in here and get sewn. You can put some glue right here. Oh no, not another stopped up bottle, man. Hold on, gotta do some glue surgery. Darn it. And my glue poker is trying to get away. Alright, hopefully that will clear it out some. Okay, so I was just going to put a little bit, there we go, right there, just to kind of tack it in place. And so my crease is right here, so I'm not going to put this booklet all the way down to the crease. I am going to keep it away a little bit, kind of center it in there. And now we can bring over the sewing machine and whip that through. Normally I would wait a little bit. Actually, you know what? We could do the, we could let that set up for a minute and do the other side. So that's going to get stitched. Ooh, and I did do it crooked still. Darn it. There we go. My middle name. Whoop, crooked. Is my middle name. There we go. I think that'll be good. So then what we can do is take this guy, turn it over, and fold it up. However deep you want this pocket, you make you happy. It's your book. You're the boss of it. You do want to keep it probably a little bit below your notepad pages so they're not exposed. But again, your call. That might be a little taller than I wanted, so I'm going to just get rid of some of this. Maybe that much. That's precise, right? And I would go through and I would ink my edges. I will, oh, look how straight that was. Oh, Brooke. See if I can fix that. Probably not. Probably make it worse. Okay. And then you can put in your thumb notch if you knew where your circle punch was. So we'll just go right there and put in a great big old thumb notch. And use our glue again. To glue the pocket up. And you could layer that if you wanted to. You could put another pocket underneath it that's higher. You could use a whole different piece of paper, whatever you wanted to do. There are just endless options. And that would look a lot better had we inked it. It would stand out more. Let me put my little cover on my glue since it's getting cranky at me. Okay, so there's that. And then, let's say this is good to go. So let's grab the sewing machine. I know you guys can't really see much of the sewing because you just get the top of my machine, but we'll pretend like you can see something. How about that? That's a very hard angle to see at. Oh, is my thread going to give me fits? Maybe we won't sew. Alright, so I am sewing on the front flap, not sewing it to the back cover. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to sew it this way so that the clean side is on the top. Oh no, I kind of wish I had used a decorative punch on the edge there. And let's go ahead and I'm going to make this a zigzag. I feel like I've never seen my sewing machine before. Hello. I'm also going to lengthen the stitch a little bit. The closer together your stitches are, the more likely you are to just perforate the paper and tear it. Do a teeny back stitch. It's not like we're going to wear this out or anything, so you know, you don't have to have that much of a back stitch. It's not going to fall apart. And just zip it right along the edge. Back stitch again just for a second. Cut those threads. See, that's all. Oh, also crooked. We do have a theme going today. So it's stitched across there, not all the way up into the fold, and sewn to the front flap, the short one, not the back flap. Okay, so let's just whip around that pocket on the back as long as we're here. Paper clips are in my way, so we'll get rid of those. And then you can just, I don't know, you can sew around the whole thing if you want to. I think I'll just sew the pocket down. A little back stitch. We can go along the bottom edge also, just to be decorative. I've said this a million times. If you want your corner to be neat when you're zigzagging, make sure your needle is in the left-hand position. When you lift up your presser foot and turn the paper, that left-hand position will give you a tidy corner. And we'll just, you do lose a little bit of the pocket depth by stitching, but I don't think it's insurmountable, and I think it'll look pretty. So I slow it down as I'm coming into the edge of the paper to get to that left-hand position. I went a little too far, but that is okay. And a little back stitch. So as people are putting things in and taking them out, that doesn't come loose. And give it a little haircut. Sometimes I like the longer threads, sometimes I cut them off. It just depends on how I feel just then. I'm a fickle sort. Yeah, so my two alterations to this would have been to use a decorative punch along this edge, the short side, and to ink it. But those are all things that you guys know how to do. You didn't need to watch me do them. Okay, got a haircut all the way around. And then all you need is a paper clip or a bulldog clip or whatever you're using. And you've got this fabulous notepad on one side. And then it can slide right onto the top of the page because you didn't sew the paper right up into the seam and because you sewed it on that short front flap. So that can go right over the top. Decorate a paper clip if you feel so inclined, or a bulldog clip. And that is the whole thing. Isn't that cute? It's a great way to use up scraps, and I think it's really fun. So I think that about wraps it up for today. Thanks so much, you guys. I'll see you again soon. Bye.